Welcome to our roundtable drive. It's Jenny and I. We are going up over a pass near Bear Lake. We happen to be in Idaho, and yes, it's raining. We're checking on a spot that has several Bigfoot sightings on the top of this mountain that you see ahead of us. And we'll keep crossing the Bear River on the way to Bear Lake. This Bear Lake County that we're coming up to has 9 Bigfoot sightings on the BFRO website alone. Not to mention the Bigfoot sightings on this side of the mountain. And then the several Bigfoot sighting reports that have been sent to us from here. There's a territorial grove of aspens. And there's 2 Bigfoot sightings right near the grove. One's a police officer that had the Bigfoot sighting there, and it was a pretty long drawn out Bigfoot sighting that he had stuck in the snow at nights while he was off duty. And then a couple of guys camped right there with their dogs. So seeing that there was 2 Bigfoot sightings at that spot, we wanted to come and check it out and hike around. And right where the guys are camping, there's a territorial grove of snap-offs. You know, the history of Bigfoot sightings, a lot of people, including Native Americans, you know, said that sometimes there's these snap-offs where the Bigfoot's either showing off to each other, showing off to us, how big and powerful they are by how high up on a tree and the thickness of the tree they can snap. But there's over an acre of a couple of dozen snap-offs right by where these people had their sightings, and the guys with the 2 guys with their dogs, their sighting was very aggressive and very intimidating. So it makes me wonder if this is a territorial grove of snap-offs, and maybe the Bigfoot's confused. It's like, hey, I properly marked my territory. You know, why aren't these guys respecting my boundary? You know, that's just my thoughts on the subject, but we're hoping that we don't run into snow that stops us. If we're able to make it to the grove, we'll film it and show you guys. But since we're in a Bigfoot sighting hotspot, I thought we would start a camera and have it roll while we drive up over this pass into Bear Lake. There's a Mink Creek coming up, and funny thing is, I'm sure if you guys are Bigfoot enthusiasts, you guys heard about the, I think it was the 2000, do you remember the year that happened, the Mink Creek sighting that the kids filmed? I don't know, it wasn't very long ago, just a few years ago. But towards the last day of school, may have been the very last day of school, they went on a field trip to Mink Creek, a bunch of high school students, and they filmed a Bigfoot that was observing them from up above. And like a day or two after that hit the news, it hit the news right away, their footage. Jenny and I, and we're passing the sign, Mink Creek, 1 mile. Jenny and I are like, oh, we know where that's at. And we head right up here. And we start scouring this area. I mean, this is a Bigfoot sighting hotspot too. The Birch Creek area was really famous for Bigfoot sightings about 50 years ago. And then, of course, the recent sightings all around here. We head up and start looking around, and it just didn't look right. We were hitting private property where we thought we should be able to get in and everything, and it took us about a week to realize there's another Mink Creek in Idaho out there by Pocatello, and that's the one where the footage was filmed. So once we realized that, we headed out there and scoured that area too. The Bigfoot video that they captured was very compelling to me. That thing was huge up there. And then shortly after that happened, they hiked up there and recorded some footprints in the snow that are real compelling. So the video, So the video, the footprints, and that one, in my opinion, was more than likely the real deal. Yep, there's the Mink Creek turnoff right there. We just passed it. Yeah, it made sense to me when I saw it on the news. I'm like, we're always in that area because all the Bigfoot sightings hiking around. I know where it's at. And so we headed right over here. Not too far away from that grove of aspens, and the two sightings at the same location, separated by about 10 years. I believe it was the police officer had his Bigfoot sighting, and then right around 10 years later, another two guys camping there, them and their dogs got harassed by a Bigfoot. Their dogs went out after the Bigfoot into the woods at night, and then the Bigfoot just roared and chased them back to camp. So, you know, in my opinion, the Bigfoot was pushed and harassed a little bit before it had its breaking moment. So yeah, it was provoked into that type of reaction. But close by, oh, there's some ponies. I got it out eating the weeds around the mailbox. There's a freshwater spring nearby. And this is pretty much on the top of the mountain. And going back there, checking on that grove, we found different types of berries back in there, and it brings in some of the blue jays to eat those berries. So there's interesting things up there why a Bigfoot might like the place and might mark it off as his territory. It's like, hey, here's my mountaintop water, all these berry bushes up here, and the Native Americans called them ridge walkers, and it's up on the ridge, damn close to it. Jenny and I have camped about a quarter of a mile from that Territorial grove of aspens. We camped there a weekend in a tent with some friends, and hoping to get some action, but nothing out of the ordinary happened that weekend. There's been times that we've come up and saw what looked like Bigfoot tracks inside that grove, and then Derek's come up separately from us to check on that grove with his family, and he recorded some what looked like Bigfoot tracks inside the actual grove. So once in a while we find interesting things at the grove.
Thought there'd be a lot more snow up here, but there's not.
I got my fingers crossed that when we get on the top there isn't any snow.
I don't think that there should be.
It might be muddy.
If anything, it's going to be a big mud puddle.
Yeah.
It's just rain.
I'm just hoping there's no mosquitoes.
Well, if there's a mud puddle, we can't get in, so.
Yeah, we'll see what's going on. That's what we're here for. We just passed through a storm cell. You guys saw the beginning of the video with it raining. So hopefully we can get up there, check it out, if we can get in and do what we need to do before that storm cell catches up with us, because it seems to be going this general direction. This valley we're in is one of my favorite valleys we travel through. It just seems like a relaxing place to retire. Got bigs in the backyard. Don't have to go very far to go squatching. Even though we got bigs in the backyard from where we live. That Snow Basin Mountain on either side of it, and including the mountain, we get reports from there a lot. And heck, even when we were kids, every once in a while, Bigfoot footprints or sightings would make it into the newspaper, the Standard Examiner.
Or they'd get lost and come to town.
Yep. Those rivers go through the towns. And yeah, another police officer sighting half a mile from our house, right where the river crosses under the road. A police officer on duty in the 80s, early 80s, saw a Bigfoot cross the road right there, and he spotlighted it as it was going through a field paralleling the river. And then the Bigfoot was saw twice more reported by people seeing it crossing other roads on its way to Weber Canyon that takes it right into the mountains. Yeah, that was an interesting night of events right near where we live. Pretty rare when a soldier or a police officer will admit seeing something like that, so they're really putting their necks on the line to admit they saw something like that, especially if they're, you know, active. The police officer that had the sighting on the top of this mountain that we're going to, he did not come forward with his report till after he retired. He didn't want it to affect his career, so he just kept that to himself. You'll find that a lot of military guys and police officers and professionals, they hold that stuff in until after they've retired. I'll put in the description of this video a link, because I go over the police officer's sighting report on location and the two guys and their dog. I go over that whole thing. I don't want to get into all the details on this video while we're driving up here, so I'll just put that in the link and you guys can go watch that and see the location, especially if we get up on top and there's a bunch of snow and or deep mud and we can't get in there. Then you guys will be able to see the spot for sure. Yeah, I walk around the grove showing you guys the snap-offs, and I discuss their sightings. I believe that video also has the web links to their written reports too, if those are still available. Sometimes these people that have them on their websites, they discontinue the website, or I've seen BFRO remove reports off their site for whatever reason too. And when they do updates, I don't know, maybe it's human error. But a guy I used to work for, his Bigfoot sighting was on their website forever, and the last time I went on there looking for it, Larry's Bigfoot sighting wasn't on there, so things are looking good, Jenny. I'm not concerned with the snow now, I'm concerned with the mud. Damn.
I just don't think so. I'm gonna bottom out right there.
Yeah. I need to completely see the entire lake before it needs to dry out, before I drive across. I want to walk back there. Brought these, there's no walnut trees here. It says, so maybe it's a Bigfoot enthusiast that's up here trying to make friends with the Bigfoot.
I bet there's a walnut tree down in the valley. Maybe it dropped them.
Maybe someone like Mike can't let anything go to waste. He would be going up in the mountains and leaving them for the animals too.
Or somebody dropped their bag of walnuts when they were snowmobiling. We don't hit that.
Yep, or they got back from snowmobiling and it's like, we have 10 pounds of these at home.
Yeah.
I'm not taking them home, they're staying here. Well, that worked out 10 times better than I thought it would.
We have water?
Yeah, we got 2 cold waters in our cooler behind you. Will you grab me a string cheese if you see one while you're in there too? I wonder if that's a deer over there. I didn't get a good enough look at it. That was a crazy hike. I'll adjust whatever I need to adjust on it, but I just want to let you know it's going for a little bit longer. Thanks for grabbing me my water. Jenny and I can take our vehicle down that dirt road right up to where we need to hike and everything around that Territorial Grove and the 2 Bigfoot sightings back there, but we had to hike the whole way in and out. And it was pretty exciting. I'll post the video of our hike first, and then I'll do this driving roundtable afterwards and put a link to that in this video, so you guys will be able to see our hike down below. I don't like to mix the two. It makes too long of videos, so we usually separate our drives from our hikes. So make sure you watch that. That was pretty exciting. We showed the Grove of Aspens. Something kept skirting us on our left side the whole way. And then when we were about ready to leave the Grove of Aspens, Jenny saw something large and gray and it had brown splotches over it, you said?
Well, it was multicolored. You know, when a deer or wolf are gray and brown at the same time?
Yeah.
Like that.
I see. And
moose do that too.
Jenny gasped and stood up straight when she saw it, so I flipped around and looked at what she was seeing, and I just saw a flash of it through the vegetation disappear. And the weirdest thing is it ran away silently. We kept on hearing something on our left side the whole day, and it was actually in the direction that we kept hearing something when we were hiking back there. You know, and it was making snapping sounds, this and that, as it was moving through, but when it ran from us after it was spotted, it ran silently. crazy. I think this is called Bear Lake County that we're getting down into, and like I said earlier in the video, 9 reported Bigfoot sightings in this county alone to BFRO, or 9 reported that I've found. I'm sorry, maybe not all 9 of them are on BFRO. You guys will go to their website and say no. There's only 4 or whatever it is, so there may in fact be 9. I know that we've had several Bigfoot sighting reports reported to us in this Bear Lake area too. Just beautiful up here on top though. Last week we were up on Monte Cristo with 8-foot tall snowbanks, and this is pretty high right here, so we expected a lot worse conditions, and so nice to be able to hike and check on that grove. Brand new snap off back there too, and it was really recent. It was after the tree got its leaves.
It's only a couple weeks old then.
Yeah, a couple of weeks old at the most. There's been many years we've gone back there and found a new one right in that grove. What is the elevation, does it say?
7,400 feet.
Okay, we were 2,000 feet higher at Monte Cristo last week, where we were hitting the 8-foot snowbanks.
Yeah.
We're gonna continue this driving roundtable. We're successfully able to hike where we wanted to, and then because this whole area is a Bigfoot sighting hotspot, we'll continue to film until we get off the mountain on the Bear Lake Valley side. Points towards the Montpelier area, and that's the direction of the Bloody Bucket.
Oh, look!
That looks like a marmoset. They're cute. Yeah, this is just such a beautiful area. Love to show the viewers the places we go to look for Bigfoot. ...2010, 2011, 2012... in 2013, we spent a lot of time here. This was like our main spot where we spent over half our time looking for Bigfoot and camping, is this general area that we're in right now. Jenny and I got very familiar with every nook and cranny around here. And I think it was 2012 that I really believe I heard Bigfoot sightings, Bigfoot vocalizations for my first time. We heard them 2 nights in a row. I don't know, 12:30 at night. A single vocalization each time that lasted about 15-20 seconds. Very big lung capacity to keep up that type of wail or scream, if you would call it. But up until that point in my life, I really don't believe I've ever heard a Bigfoot vocalization.
Oh, that was my first time.
And that same expedition, we found a fresh track in the mud of the river. Now, mind you, it was a juvenile. It wasn't these giant ones that we like to show off on our videos. It was a small one, but whatever it was had to leap about 15 feet out to the mud bar in the river, and then leap, just plant that 1 foot and then leap the next 15 feet to clear the rest of the river, because we scoured for footprints leading up to it and beyond it, and it only stepped in the river one time, right practically in the middle on the mud bar.
I don't think it was quite 15 feet.
I'm talking from the embankment where it would have had to leap without leaving a track, the grasses and stuff. Because if it had leaped from the bank, it would have left an impression. So, yeah, that's my guesstimate. Okay, those mountains you see off in the distance over there is the Bloody Bucket area, the peaks. You might be able to see a little bit of snow on some of them. That's where we're at when we're in the Bloody Bucket looking for Bigfoot. And you guys can do searches for some of these places on our YouTube channel. Just go up into the search and put Bloody Bucket RMSO Bigfoots, or whatever locations we're talking about, and those videos will sometimes come right up for you guys, a selection of them. Jenny and I spent some time in there. That's the second time in my life that I think I heard Bigfoot vocalizations, some really good ones in the Bloody Bucket. It was Jenny and I's second or third time camping back in there, and we spent most of the time in camp inside our trailer because it rained all day, and then there was about 2 hours before nightfall, the rain stopped, the clouds cleared up, and sunshine, although not very much left of it. And so we did a small hike to go and service some game cameras we had close by. Come back to camp, and Jenny was in the trailer and I was outside, and the sun's just starting to go down, and it sounded like an episode of Finding Bigfoot at the end. A bunch of Bigfoot vocalizations, sound like there was 2 or 3 of them just going off, and I'm in denial. I am going, no way. There's some campers in here pretending they're the Finding Bigfoot guys, or are seriously out looking for Bigfoot, so doing some vocalizations. And I went into the camper tent. When we actually use a trailer, we like to use a pop-up trailer, so that we just have the canvas so we can hear outside well. But I went in, and Jenny doing her stuff, she didn't hear him, but I was like, holy crap, I couldn't believe that she didn't hear him from in there. But I know she was busy working on dinner and all that. So anyway, I was saying, God, I thought we were the only ones back here. It was early in the season, before Memorial Day, and it was bad weather, and we were the only ones back there. But after that happened, we went and drove around to see if there was anyone camping back there, and we soon discovered that, yeah, we were right. We were the only ones back there. So it wasn't people making those vocalizations. And that's when it set in. I'm like, oh my gosh. It was kind of scary and intimidating. I thought, oh, we're going to have one hell of a night. Because you hear them just as the sun going down, and you're thinking, is this going to keep up all night? And we never heard them again the rest of the night out there. But that's the second time in my life that I'm pretty damn sure I heard Bigfoot vocalizations, and that's the best I can describe it. When Cliff, Bobo, and Matt are vocalizing back and forth across a canyon on their night little dills, that's what it reminded me of. The Bloody Bucket. I'll include one of the sighting reports of the Bloody Bucket. We got a really good one of a couple of bow hunters seeing a family of 3. I'll leave that in the description of the video. Alright, as you can tell, we're getting down to civilization, although the last Bigfoot sighting report that we got in this area was a road crossing right down here and across the road down there. We got the Bigfoot sighting report the first day it happened, within hours. They messaged us. And then Jenny and I were already on a Bigfoot expedition, so it took us like 4 or 5 days before we completed that expedition and got into this area. And then Jenny and I camped here for a week. Drove and hiked all over up here. It was awesome. Alright, well, I'm going to end this roundtable drive. We're down into the valley. You guys got to see the pass, and make sure you look for that Territorial Grove of Aspen Strawberry Expedition. Something like that. Okay, keep on watching. We're going to keep on squatching.